Breathe, breathe, breathe.
This is Adam with the Maladjusted Misfits. Breathe, breathe, breathe.
And I'm Joe, and this is the one where we talk about friends. Hello, Misfits. How are you?
Hello out there.
It is week 23.
23.
Episode 23.
Yes.
I'm excited. One more till the end of the series.
Yes.
Season. Damn. I cannot get series and season used correctly for some reason. Because, I'm being recorded. That's why.
That's why. It's like when your boss is looking over your shoulder when you're working on something.
Yeah, you can't even spell your own fucking name right. I hate that.
So one more reminder.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there'll be one more reminder after this.
We had bonus episodes.
Bonus episodes coming.
Yep.
Where we review the season ending, not the ending, the whole thing. The whole season, including the season ending.
Yes, we will go back and take a look back at the characters and our favorites and make fun of it for the entire season.
Instead of episodically.
Yeah, series. Damn it. I didn't know. I said it right this time and then I corrected myself. Oh my God. Let's just get started.
It's going to be an edit-heavy episode.
Oh, one more bonus episode. Then we're going to watch the whole 9 yards.
Whole 9 yards.
And talk about that. So
yes.
Stay tuned.
Matthew Perry, Bruce Willis.
All right. So this week, we're doing the one
with the birth.
Yay! Finally a baby.
That's why we had Lamaze jokes at the beginning.
That's right. What's our IMDb plot?
Well, as Carol goes into labor, Ross and Susan argue. Rachel flirts with Carol's doctor, and Joey assists a pregnant single mother.
Aww. All right. Our episode director is James Burrows.
Aww.
Jimmy is back. So I was, just doing research on James Burrows, and I read that in 2016, James Burrows directed his 1,000th TV episode. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of TV episodes.
1,000th TV episode. NBC's Crowded. I've never heard of it, but that was his 1,000th episode.
That's some fun news. That's a lot of...
I thought that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Our episode writer are Jeff Greenstein and Jeff Strauss.
The Jeffs are back.
The Jeffs are back. They are a writing team. So Jeff Greenstein... He and Burrows worked together again. Greenstein was the senior writer for Will and Grace for the first 6 seasons and showrunner for seasons 5 and 6.
Nice.
So they're like a couplet. They go together.
Right.
And Jeff Strauss comes along because he's Jeff Greenstein's writing partner. So for Jeff Strauss, I did some research and I read an article about him opening a restaurant after 30 years of TV writing.
Wow.
Yeah. In 2019, he worked, there was a lull in TV shows. And so his wife told him, he always loved cooking. And she said, you should do something. Now's the time. So he did a couple unpaid internships and essentially at a chef's friend's restaurant began catering. He called his new business Jeff's Table.
Oh.
And then after COVID, he reopened a closed bar, renamed it the Oi Bar in Studio City.
Oh.
And it's now a foodie favorite.
I was going to say, he opened a restaurant in 2019. That's not good timing.
No. No, he took over a closed restaurant. Yeah. So I just thought that was cool. He wrote
fun.
For all those years and then did what he was passionate about.
Not writing.
Oh,
no, I'm sure he's very passionate about it.
It's one of those things where you say, like, what would you do if time, money, and stuff didn't matter?
Right.
And it's like, he would probably wanted to be a chef, and so now he gets to do that.
I wonder if that's where Monica got it.
That's what I wrote. All right. So what's our original air date?
It was May 11th, 1995.
Ooh. Anything exciting happened that week?
Well, I just went with the movie. I like to focus on the movies because it
Okay.
helps me as a movie fan know where on the timeline I am.
Okay.
So if there's new movies, I'll do movies. If it's repeats, I'll do songs or other stuff. But I was kind of excited this week because number 1, number 2 movies that week were Crimson Tide.
Okay. Denzel Washington, right? Okay.
And Die Hard with a Vengeance.
We talked about Bruce Willis last week. So,
yeah. And just earlier because he's in the whole 9 yards.
So Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yep.
That's cute. That's a third one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson's in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty funny. All right, so you ready for some trivia?
I am ready for some trivia.
I got some good ones today. So,
okay.
Well, this is the first birth to be featured in the series, and there are 3 more in the series.
Right.
Which is a lot of births for one TV series.
Right.
It's different people, but still, there's 4 total births in the entire series of Friends. So.
4 total births.
Yeah, I
and
figured
like
we
7
would,
babies.
Yeah,
right?
we would get to all of them. Yeah. So this is the first episode not to feature Central Perk or Monica and Rachel's apartment.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Did you notice that?
Yeah, well, I noticed writing the notes. It was like hospital room, hospital hallway, hospital waiting room.
So this was originally the season finale, but director James Burrows insisted that viewers cared more about the fate of Ross and Rachel than the birth of the baby. So they made the next episode the series.
Right, which that makes sense.
Yeah. And then in the scene where Monica sees a woman going home with twins, she says, "It's not fair that she gets 2 and I don't even have 1. And then Chandler and Monica will adopt twins in the final season.
Oh,
isn't that cute?
That is cute.
A little foreshadowing. And then Jonathan Silverman, who plays Dr. Franzblau, is one of the stars of the movie Weekend at Bernie's, which is revealed in the one with the embryos that it's Rachel's favorite movie.
Right.
So I thought that was funny that she was flirting with him because he's the star of one of her favorite movies.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. Supposedly?
All right, what are your reactions to this week's episode?
So my reaction was, well, this one has a birth.
Yes.
So it's one of the more sentimental episodes.
Yeah.
But except for the stinger, I don't think it gets too bogged down in sentimentality.
No.
I think that it's a good, fun episode, and they poke fun on a lot of stuff.
And it clips along really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's another one of those that has a ton of scenes in it. And some of the scenes are just, 1 or 2 jokes and then they're out. But I think this one's balanced a little more. I think it helps that they're all in the hospital, still kind of around the same situation.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not jumping to Chandler at work or, Phoebe doing something off on her own. They're all kind of in the same setting. Like I said, it doesn't get bogged down in sap like some shows do when they have a sentimental episode. It's really funny, and I love how they resolve the feud between Ross and Susan.
Yeah, it's cute. I like this episode. Of course, I'm a sucker for baby stories. I love all the friends being there for Ross. I just think that's super cute. Like, none of them have to be there. Like, Monica should be there, but they all go, and I just think that's so
Right.
sweet.
At some points, I'm surprised Carol doesn't say something.
Right. Like, why are you guys all here?
Right. I assume that she knows Chandler and Monica fairly well. But Joey and Rachel, she's probably like, why are these people in the birthing suite with me?
I think Rachel is very funny with her doctor obsession, and Monica lamenting about not having a baby, and Chandler being her emotional support. And I love the storyline with Joey. Mwah. Could he be any cuter? I think he should have ended up with her, but like he tells Chandler in a later season, you don't come between a family. Yeah, so I think that's why he walked away. And of course, Susan and Ross, this begins the softening of these two. They're better after this day. Right. They're still quippy, but better.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't, he's not irritated with her anymore.
Right. All right, favorite lines. So this was hard. I wrote down like 4.
Yeah, it was. There's a lot of good lines in this one.
Yeah. I almost went with Chandler, but I found myself laughing the most at "Every day is lesbian lover day."
And I almost picked that as mine.
I'm surprised it wasn't. That's why I was like, "Oh, it's available. I'll take it."
Sometimes when I kind of have it down to 2 or 3, I kind of leave the obvious one open.
Oh, fine, thanks.
So that you can snatch it up if you want to. Well, I feel like that either one of us would have happily had that line.
Right.
Mine goes with the same storyline. It's Susan. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, there's a lot of things Carol never did before I came along.
That was too funny. All right. My favorite moment is I do like the whole Joey storyline. Mm-hmm. And I like when he says goodbye to Lydia. Like, they're like, okay, well, maybe I should go. And he leaves. And then he comes back and starts fluffing her pillow. I just think that's so cute. I love it.
My favorite moment is I love the look that Ross and Susan have after Phoebe's little guilt trip about how loved Ben is going to be. And they just kind of stand there like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I'm trying to be mad at the girl kid.
Right.
And you always pull out well, think about where she'd be right now if she never had us. I'm like, shut up.
I'm trying to be bad.
You're trying to make me cry. All right. Favorite outfit. I would have picked yours, but you again took your notes first. And
I left you the line.
That's fair.
And you got mad at me.
That's fair. I'm going to go with Monica's cute little blue dress and tights. That's my go-to outfit almost every day, a dress and tights.
Right.
So I think she looks cute.
She does. Again, I did steal your outfit. But it's Susan again.
Yeah.
Susan in the closet, once she takes off that bulky sweatshirt, she's got that cute little 90s dress on with the t-shirt.
Yeah.
And she's got little work boots on with it. She just looks adorable. I would have made a very good lesbian. I would have been all over her.
Every day is lesbian lover day. All right. So themes we explored this episode. Theme 1, becoming a parent.
Yes. Theme 2. Wanting to become a parent.
I think more along the lines Monica wants a baby. I'm not sure she wants to be a parent.
Well, that's what happens when you have a baby, though. You become a parent.
Theme 3, helping others become parents.
Aw, little Joey. And theme 4, you don't stop for chunkies when you're having a baby.
That's a good moment, too. All right, we're going to take a quick break before we break down the episode.
They're tiny and chubby and so sweet to touch. Soon they'll grow up and resent you so much. Now they're yelling at you and you don't know why. And you cry and you cry and you cry. And you cry, 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 and you cry.
They found their bodies the very next day. La 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 la.
All right, we're back, baby.
We're back. All right, so our cold open is not in Central Perk.
No.
It starts in the hospital waiting room because the last episode they were running in the hallway because Ross had gotten beep. So we open up with them all in the hospital waiting room. So
Right.
Rachel, Monica, Joey, and Chandler are there.
Yes.
And then Ross runs in, and I like how they're all sitting there relaxed. And Ross is losing his mind. Like, Chandler has his legs up on the love seat.
Right. Everybody's calling Bert Ross. He's always got to be the crazy person.
So Monica asks if her water broke yet. And Ross is unsure, but he knows that she has already passed her mucus plug. So Joey makes that cute gagging sound.
Right. He reacts exactly how I would to hearing the term mucus plug for the first time.
That is one of those things that sounds exactly like what it is.
What should we call this thing? Mucus plug?
So Mon asks what he's going to do when he has a baby. She's asking Joey this.
Right.
And he'll be Desi Arnaz in the waiting room passing out cigars, according to Chandler. So it's going to be in a 50s TV show. So.
Right. And I like Joey's arc in this episode.
Oh, yeah. It's super cute.
I'm starting off having nothing to do with it, and then I'm helping somebody that has nothing to do with me.
Right. And then when he's in with Carol, he's an expert. Yeah. So Ross is freaked out about Carol giving birth in a cab, and I thought Rachel made a very funny joke.
She does.
She says about it being only $2 for the first contraction and 50 cents for every additional contraction, but Ross is not amused.
Well, no, he's in panic mode. He never finds anything funny in panic mode.
So she gets angry because Chandler can make jokes, and he says, you got to pick your moments. And that was also almost one of my favorite lines. I love how he says that.
Right.
So Phoebe runs in hoping she hasn't missed it, and Ross is like, she's not even here yet. And Mon questions a guitar, and she says, things might get musical. We had a friend who always whipped out his guitar in the most inopportune times and situations.
Right.
It was like, why do you always have a guitar?
Right. And I like music. I'm not sure how I would react to somebody else showing up in a hospital waiting room with a guitar.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if I was Phoebe's friend, I would get it. As it's just a random other person, I'd be like, oh no.
Right. Please don't. Yeah. You're already anxious and it's crowded. It's not a good time for a concert.
I'm going to be there forever.
So Susan and Carol finally arrive, and Ross scolds them. But I love how happy and relaxed Carol is. She's so cute in this moment. She was like, I wanted a stuffed animal, and Susan wanted a chunky.
Right.
And
she was like, my water broke, but I'm in no rush. It's not hurting.
So I was never really a fan of chunky, so I had to look it up because I don't even remember. I knew they were short, little, thick bars, but I didn't know. So they were invented in the late 1930s. They are made of milk chocolate, raisins, and peanut.
Right.
Yeah, I had no idea they had all that stuff in it.
No, I didn't either.
I thought it was just a chunk of milk chocolate.
Yeah.
So now I'm glad I don't like Chunkies. I like those things separately, but not all together.
My dad used to eat Chunkies sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. All right, so then Ross yells that they're having a baby and you don't stop for Chunkies. And then Chan quips he used to have a bumper sticker that says that, and Ross laughs. You see what I mean?
You see what I mean? So then we're in the birthing suite with Ross, Carol, and Susan. And Ross is still fervid over them stopping for a Chunky. And Carol gets settled into bed, and she tells him to let it go.
Yeah, okay. This may be the only thing that I have in common with Ross. I have a hard time letting things go.
Right.
So I even got a tattoo. And I almost got Let It Go, but then Stupid Frozen came out. So I changed it. So my tattoo says Slide from Fight Club. So it says, where I got it from is let that which truly does not matter slide.
Right.
So I have Slide and a little penguin. But you still have to constantly remind me.
Yeah. Look at your tattoo.
Yeah, tattoo. He's always pointing at my wrist or flipping my hand over. And
that's why she got it. So
that's
it could be like... Just let it slide. It's fine.
All right.
Susan then offers Ross her extra Chunky. And she holds it in front of his face, teasing him. And you can see on his face for a second, he's kind of like, I kind of want the Chunky.
Yeah, he does want it, but he doesn't want to give her the satisfaction.
Right. And he's like, no. So enter Jonathan Silverman as Dr. Franz Blau. And he asks how his favorite parenting team is. So, Joe, Weekend at Bernie's is on Hulu.
Okay.
Should we give it a watch and report back during the maladjusted moments at the end of next week's episode?
All right, for the podcast. But unlike Rachel, it's not my favorite movie.
Well, again, I don't remember anything about it.
Right.
I'm not expecting to love it, but I thought it would be fun.
All right, I'll give you that.
So the doc says that you're thinking of having a baby, and you're 9 months pregnant, so you're off to a good start. He's got a weird voice in this, too.
He does. He totally does.
I don't know why he's doing that voice.
No.
What happened to the lady doctor?
I don't know. She wasn't famous or funny, so. And didn't Phoebe's doctor change, too? She had a women doctor, and then...
Well, Phoebe's, though, they say.
She fell.
She fell because she's like, she's so stupid. I don't know what happened to this lady.
Yeah,
I think I read somewhere that Silverman and Schwimmer were friends.
Oh, really?
Since, like, they were kids or something.
Oh, that's fun.
So I think
Aniston starred in something with him, too. Like a sitcom pilot or something.
So I don't know if that's why he's in there, but I assume that maybe that's what led to it. So he asks about Carol's contractions, and she said, each one is like a party in her uterus.
So we were watching this episode, getting ready, and I thought it was pretty cute because after 30-some years, you finally asked me what contractions/cramps felt like. And
I was just like, I don't, like, I have an idea.
Yeah. But, I kind of struggled. And so, ladies, if you have any help, I didn't give birth, but, I know what cramps are all about. And I liken it to my body is trying to squeeze out all the toothpaste out of the tube. So it's just a constant over and over wave of muscles trying to squeeze out a baby or the lining of my uterus. So it's just like this. That's why I call it contractions.
Right.
It like contracts. It squeezes. So yeah, it's not fun.
Well, sorry.
That's okay.
Susan adds that the contractions are 4 minutes apart and last 55 seconds.
59 seconds. Quartz. Ha!
Swiss quartz. Ha ha! And if Carol had an iWatch, that would monitor everything.
That's right.
She could just go, here's the...
Probably wouldn't even gone to the hospital yet because she'd have been like, it's not even, my watch says it's not time.
Right. I was looking up to see if they could do that with iWatches.
Uh-huh.
And they can monitor the baby's heartbeat separately somehow.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy.
I don't know how any of that works. But... So Carol asks if she can eat anything, saying extra chunky. Ice chips, only ice chips. From the nurse's station, and our pair of intrepid helpmates race for the ice chips, narrowly mowing down Rachel, who is bringing in...
Ice chips.
Ice chips, yeah. So Rachel starts to help, but quickly spots handsome Joe, handsome doctor.
I mean, he's okay, but his voice and inflections bother me, so I don't think I'd stay interested very long.
Well, neither does Rachel.
That's true.
So Dr. Frau Blucher, which is a character from Young Frankenstein.
Oh my gosh.
She introduces herself as Carol's ex-husband's sister's roommate. And he says, well, I'm your roommate's brother's ex-wife's obstetrician. Wordplay, noise. And Rachel laughs, and Carol looks as if she's suddenly a third wheel in her own birthing suite.
She flops down on her bed, and Carol's like, all right. All right, so we go back to the hospital waiting area, and Monica, Chandler, and we think Joey is there.
Yeah.
So Chandler is asleep on Monica's shoulder. Heart emoji. Monica pouts as a baby is wheeled by, and Chandler says, not tonight, honey. I got an early day tomorrow. And she pushes him off her shoulder and suggests that they go get coffee because they never do that.
No.
So. Also, they may have been that lax back in the day, wheeling babies by willy-nilly, but my God, it's like Fort Knox now. Yeah. No one can go back there and see the baby without a full body cavity search.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Who are you? Give me your thumbprint.
That's right. What relation are you to the baby and the mother?
I don't know. I was just here to look at babies. That's what it was like in the old days.
Well, that's why they had to lock it down.
Right.
All right. So enter Leah Remini, she's a guest star. She plays Lydia. And then she originally auditioned for the role of Monica.
Huh. I had no idea.
Yeah. So coincidentally, her and Courtney Cox share the same birthday. June 15th.
Nice.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny.
Yeah. So anyhow, Joey is sitting there yelling at the Knicks game, and Lydia says, oh boy, do they suck. And Joey's about to go off on this person until he sees she's about to pop.
Right. He's like, hey,
So she makes fun of Ewing. He couldn't hit water if he was standing on a boat, and informs him that she likes the Celtics. And Joey does what would happen to me if I tried to quip something back and says, yeah, well, they couldn't hit a boat. Wait, they suck, all right? It's like, was it George Bush when he was like, fool me once. Right. He got all tongue-tied.
Then fool me again, and then...
They suck, okay? So Lydia has a contraction, and Joey yells, "Hey, we need a father over here." And she tells him there is no father, and she screams again, and he helps her into the birthing area.
Yeah,
so.
Joey's so sweet.
Even to a Celtics fan.
I don't follow sports,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I know that being in New York, being a fan of anything Boston is weird.
Yeah, that is weird. And I did recognize Knicks and Celtics, so
Yes.
I was that good. But other than that, I don't know anything.
So we're in the hospital waiting area. Phoebe, Monica, Chandler, and Ross. Phoebe is singing, and it starts out sweet, and it ends Phoebesily.
But she isn't wrong,
No.
right?
No.
The song is not that far off.
It's not inaccurate. It's just not the thing you want to worry about on
the day they're born.
the day they're born.
Right.
And Ross pays her to stop. And she seems okay with it. She's like, okay, cool. I'll take it to stop. And some lady comes out with twins, and they look all cute, and they say, cute, cute. And Monica, that's when she complains that it's not fair.
She doesn't even have one.
No. And Chandler tells her she'll get one.
When?
Well, he offers that when they're 40, if neither of them is married to each other, then they can have one together. But they're going to be married soon. Anyway, taking offense, Monica asks, why won't she be married when she's 40?
And technically, by the time Monica's 40, she and Chan have been married 7 years.
Aw. But no. Hypothetically.
Okay, hypothetically, why won't I be married when I'm 40?
Jesus, Tom, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just speculating about a hypothesis.
We're talking about Friends, not Miller's Crossing.
Okay. That might happen again later. So Mon, showing her biological relation to Ross, is freaking out, and she asks if there is something fundamentally unmarriable about her. And Chandler reacts to the hysteria by going, "Dear God, this parachute is a knapsack."
That was almost my favorite line, too. Remember when we got engaged and I kept saying, we're never going to get married.
Yep.
And then I would say, I'm never going to get to go to Paris.
Yep. And then you're like, we're never going to adopt any kids.
Yeah, and then I'm like, we're never going to be alone.
And that's true.
Yeah.
Then Rachel Green comes in, changed and ready to catch a doctor. And she asks if Dr. Farfig Newton has been by. And they have not seen him. And Rachel is like, well, where the fuck is that guy? The baby might need him. Chandler asks Rachel, what is the deal with you and doctors? Is your father a doctor?
Yeah. Why?
No reason. And then he gives the funniest look to Monica and Joey.
And I think this is the first time we find out that Rachel's dad is a doctor.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. All right, so then we go to the hospital room with Joey and Lydia.
Yeah.
And Lydia is on the phone with her ma and says she's not calling him, and thinks she's talking about the father of the baby, because he's a jerk.
Right.
As Joey helps tuck the blankets in. So I think that's really cute.
Yeah.
She tells her ma she's not alone. She's with Joey. And then mouths, Joey who?
Right.
Tribbiani.
What do you mean, Joey who? Joey who?
And so he says Tribbiani, and she says, Joey Tribbiani. And then she tries to hand Joey the phone. And he has the same look as when I say my mom wants to talk to you.
Yeah. Oh, what? That's weird.
So she goes, I love when she goes, take the phone.
Yeah.
So he takes the phone. He goes, nope, we're just friends. Yeah, I'm single. 25. An actor. Click.
I do love the hang up right at actor. That's
That is
pretty
so
funny.
So she's not much of a phone person, Lydia says.
Yeah.
And Joey gets kind of personal for being a stranger. But he says, if someone was having his baby, he'd want to know all about it.
Right.
You mean there wouldn't be a Joey-shaped hole in that door?
Should have never walked into that sunglass hut.
So anyhow, Lydia says, hey, Nick fan, am I interested in your views on fatherhood? No.
No.
And I have a little confession.
Okay.
All right. So before we turned on the captions, when we were around 40, when we had to start turning on the captions for everything,
Right.
I always thought she said Nick Finn. Because she says, Nick Finn. You know, the way her accent, you know.
Right.
And I was like, who the fuck is Nick Finn?
Oh, man.
Now I, face palm. Sorry, I got that wrong. But anyway, so Joey leaves and he wishes her luck.
He must be a Knicks player, then.
Right. That's what I thought. I don't know. Joey goes to leave. He wishes her luck. And then there's a beat and he comes back complaining about the Celtics. And fixes her pillow.
Right.
Oh, my heart. It's so cute.
Yeah, I like the pretense of sports arguing to help someone.
Yeah.
Well, we're just going to continue our argument.
I'm not leaving you alone.
Right. So Carol's hospital room now. Mm-hmm. Carol, Ross, and Susan. Breathe.
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 You're going to kill me. Poor Carol. Her face is too funny. And then Ross is counting down 15, 14, 13.
Count faster.
And then Susan says, remember who we're doing this for. We're doing it for Jordy.
And Ross says, who the hell is Jordy?
Right. I like his tone of voice.
Yeah.
Because he's seriously like, who the hell is Jordy?
What are we talking about?
And Susan says, your son. My son's name is Jamie. But Susan's last girlfriend was Jamie, so we went back to Jordy. And he's like, back? We never landed on Jordy. We only passed by it during the Jesse, Cody, Dylan fiasco.
Yeah, I don't like any of those names. Maybe Jamie for a girl, but...
Fiasco would be a good cat name.
Oh, that is cute.
Carol starts shouting, ow, 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 leg cramp. I hate those.
Yeah, they suck.
Even not pregnant, they suck. Jump up and down on it, right?
You gonna tell the story about your grandma?
Sure. I'll try and make it quick.
Okay.
So my grandmother, we went over to my grandma's house, and she had broken her toes.
Yep. And she was like 80-something.
Right.
Right.
We were like, Grandma, how'd you break your toe? Well, I had a cramp. My foot cramped in the middle of the night. And you know how you're supposed to get up and jump up and down on it?
We were both like, no.
No?
So she broke her toes because they were so tense. She jumped out of bed and jumped up and down on them.
That was one of those old home remedies that you don't hear about anymore.
But you're the best. When you're sound asleep and I scream, I have a leg cramp without hesitation. You jump up and start rubbing my leg and snoring all at the same time. But the worst pain ever for a leg cramp was when I broke my ankle. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And I had that cast boot thing on.
Right.
And Adam was in the other room in the kitchen and I started screaming. He comes running in and goes, what? And I was like, I have a leg cramp in the leg that I broke my ankle on.
Oh.
So it was like double ow.
Yeah, you were not enjoying that.
No, it hurt really bad.
Anyway, let's go back
to Friends. Okay.
Away from leg cramps. Ross and Susan start fighting over the cramps. You get to sleep with her, I get the cramps. That's a fun trade-off. Carol says, I'm trying to get a person out of my body. It kicks them both out of the room because they're not helping. And Ross pushes Susan out.
Right.
And then tries one last plea with Carol, but she's like, out.
Yes.
So he goes out too.
Then we cut back to Lydia's hospital room.
Yeah.
So it's Joey, Lydia, and Nurse Estelle, because we don't know her name. She's just the nurse.
Right.
But
And
the
it's
nurse,
Estelle.
yeah, she's played by June Gable, who later plays Estelle.
Yes.
And she's telling Lydia to breathe. And she says, oh no, her water broke. And Joey freaks out because he's like, ooh, what is that? You know, mucus plug, water breaking.
Well, she says something exploded.
Oh, that's right. Something exploded.
She said something exploded. And he looks under the blanket. And they're both looking down there like, ugh.
So the nurse then tells Joey to breathe, breathe.
And then I like that Lydia, or what's her name, is looking at Joey kind of like, okay, this dude's not helping very much.
But he is holding her hand.
Yeah.
I still think this whole...
It's super sweet.
This
but
whole storyline.
She gives him a little look like...
Yeah. Why are you freaking out? You're not having a baby.
So then we're in the hospital hallway. Mm-hmm. Ross and Susan, and the pair of Carol lovers are fighting in the hall. Rossitron says Carol never threw him out of the room before you came along.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things Carol never did before I came along.
And surprisingly, that doesn't end up fighting. Phoebe gets all kindergarten teachery and pulls the pair aside into an open closet. And she tells them their negative fighting should not be the first thing the slimy new humans should be greeted with.
Yeah, Susan.
Yes, Susan. And Phoebe adds, "Don't make me do this again. I don't like my voice like this." And then she tries to leave, and then she's like, uh-oh. Well, here's a pickle. And then we take a quick commercial break, but we come right back to them pounding, trying to get out of the closet. So what do you do when you have a paleontologist, a lesbian, and a Phoebe trapped in a closet?
I don't know. What do you do when you have a paleontologist, a lesbian, and a Phoebe trapped in a closet?
You stick your foot in a mop bucket, and then you land on your ass, of course.
Of course.
And then that scene's over. With Ross on his ass.
So then we go back to Carol's hospital room, and it's Rachel, Carol, and Dr. Fortnite. Adam had fun with Dr. Franz Blau's name. So the doc is taking Carol's pulse. Rach is taking off her jacket. She's got a spaghetti strap slinky dress on. And she's pouring water right in front of poor Carol's face.
Right.
The little look on Carol's face like, oh my God, I'm about to have a drink of water.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be so good.
Which is so mean when you're dying of thirst. So Rachel resumes a conversation with Frankenfurter, and he ignores Carol while telling Rach about Paris.
Right. They should have stuck with the lady doctor. This guy's kind of a douche canoe.
Yeah, he is. And then when we were watching it on the DVDs, there's a cut scene. And this one's really funny. So Chan and Monica rush into an empty waiting room. It's completely empty. There's nobody there.
Right.
And then he says, if you find anybody or parts of anybody, scream and scream again.
Right.
Foreshadowing maybe Courtney's Scream movies.
Right.
But also, has to go along with your hallway theme. So.
Well, we're not there yet.
Yeah, but we're setting it up.
We're setting up the hallway theme. There's a hallway theme coming up, people. And I like the Scream and Scream Again because she's in 2 Scream movies that are both named Scream.
I know, it's so funny. I love it.
So Lydia's hospital room. Joey and Lydia and Nurse Estelle. And Joey is urging Lydia to push him out. He's very enthusiastic. So much so that he shifts right into football chants or spells or whatever you call them.
Rally cries?
I like spells. It makes them sound more satanic.
All right.
But then that's the end of that scene. They give him they all kind of look at him like, what the hell are you doing, man? And he's like, okay, I'll stop.
So then we cut to the hospital room closet. We have Ross, Phoebe, and Susan. And Ross tries to vacuum the door open.
Suck it open.
So they bang on the door yelling, help, as Phoebe starts her rendition of They Found Their Bodies the Very Next Day.
And I like how Susan looks at Phoebe like, I don't know this chick this well. Is this normal? Or
So while she's singing that, they look at her, and then they turn around and start banging on the door again.
Right. So now we're back to the hospital waiting room with Monica. And Monica's on the payphone. Remember how payphones always felt greasy? I miss that.
It's so funny now because you wouldn't even think about picking up something like that without like a Clorox wipe or something.
No,
and we used to just pick it up all the time, not even think about it.
Just stick it in the crook between your head and your shoulder.
Oh my God.
Mom, pick me up. So anyway, Mon is convincing her mom that everything is awesome and Ross is great. And then Chandler runs in and signals that everybody's still MIA.
He has no idea where anyone is.
And she conveys that Ross is in a whole nother place. He's gone. You don't have to fly back. What do you mean this could be your only chance? Which I love that her mom is always just sticking that knife in there. I'm only 26. I'm not even thinking about having a...
Is that a baby?
Yeah. Oh, then Mon cries at the sight of the baby, and Chandler takes the phone, and click, and they hug.
I love this scene too. Like he immediately opens his arms to hug her, and maybe it's me, but when you get a hug and you cup their head, I just melt. That's so cute.
So Joey comes out looking all tired. And they're like, where you been? And he's like, I just had a baby.
Muzzle top. I like how the scene cuts, but you can see him chase after him. Like, you got to talk more about this. We don't know what you're talking about.
How did you just have a baby?
So then we cut to the hospital waiting room. So Dr. Frankenstein and Rachel. So he's flirting, and he asks if she's seeing anyone, and she says no. And then he's not seeing anyone either because, it's hard to get women to go out with him.
Oh, yeah.
And she goes, yeah, I've heard that about cute doctors. And then he says, well, when you spend so much time where I do...
Just say the word, man.
The word itself makes some men uncomfortable. Vagina.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. They don't like hearing it, and they find it difficult to say, whereas without batting an eye, a man will refer to his dick, or his rod, or his Johnson.
Johnson?
All right, enough Big Lebowski. Back to Friends.
It's two Coen Brothers movies.
So he tries to not let it affect his personal life, but it's hard when you do what he does. And then he asks Rachel what she does, and she says she's a waitress. And he goes, when you come home and say, if I see one more cup of coffee.
Oh, Dr. Finger Licking is crossed over into anti-flirting.
Finger. So Rachel's not amused, and she pulls off her clip earrings. Come on, it's 1995, and you're not Joan Collins. Why are you wearing clip earrings? But she
you
goes,
liked it last week when Phoebe did it to answer the phone.
I know, but it was cute. This one's weird. But I do like Rachel's last line where she goes, okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
We're done with the doctor.
Either say vagina or don't talk about it. So now we're back in the hospital hallway. Mm-hmm. Joey has balloons, and he's walking down the hall. Okay, so here's where the hallway thing
Yes, the haunted hallway.
Yeah, the haunted hallway. Because Joey starts to go into the same door that led into the janitor's closet earlier, but now it's Lydia's hospital room. No wonder they can't find Ross, because the haunted hospital keeps rearranging itself.
It's like that book you read, House of Leaves.
Yes.
It's super creepy.
Yeah. Oh, don't read House of Leaves. It'll freak you out. So Joey peeks in, and some guy from the TV show Fame is there with a horrible sweater on and white fucking pants and is sitting with Lydia.
No wonder she thinks he's a jerk. He's wearing white pants.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't get any better.
All right.
Because Lydia's mom called this guy.
Right.
And sharp as a tack, he asks if that's their baby that Lydia's holding.
No, it's a loner.
Right.
So we also watched the DVD, and there's a cut line which cracked us both up. So she goes, no, it's a loner. Ours is in the shop. God, I hope she has my brains. I like how Joey smiles from behind the door, too.
Right. I was already making fun of how dumb this guy is.
So right, now in that cut line.
She makes fun of how dumb that guy is. So she tells the sweater that she had a doctor and a nurse and a helper guy. And she asks who won the game. Knicks by 10. They suck.
They're not so bad.
And Joey closes the door, smiling, and he leaves some balloons behind on the doorknob. And then he takes the balloon that's like a walking bottle toddler and leaves it down the hall. The magic hall.
The magical. It's a cute little scene.
Yes, it's very cute.
So now we're back to the magical closet because basically they just turned around and went back in there.
Right.
So Ross, Phoebe, and Susan are there. And Ross tries to take a credit card, even though it's not that kind of a door.
No.
And the keyhole is on the inside, which is so weird. Damn it, damn it, damn it. And he immediately blames Susan for this situation because his son is being born.
Right.
And Susan yells that the woman I love is giving birth. And they argue who has been waiting longer for the birth of this baby.
Right.
And then Ross says what sucks is that she gets to go home with the baby and live with him. And where does that leave me?
With naps and sleeping.
Susan yells, you're his father. Who am I? There's Father's Day, Mother's Day. There's no lesbian lover day. Every day is lesbian lover day.
Oh.
And then Phoebe just shakes her head and says, this is so great.
Right. And I like that Phoebe sets it up.
Right.
By saying, this is so great.
Yeah.
And Ross bites down on that bait.
So she tells him how she barely had enough pieces to make one parent. And this baby, who isn't even born yet, has 3 whole people fighting over who gets to love him more. It's the luckiest baby in the world.
Take that, losers. She's just, boom, roasted.
Now stop your fucking arguing.
Driving me crazy. All right. So then we're back to Carol's birthing suite.
Yep.
Monica, Rachel, Chandler, Joey, Dr. Frankenfurter, Nurse Estelle, and in the center of it all, Carol.
The one that's actually having the baby.
Right. Carol is screaming for the only two people in the world not in the room. Probably wondering why Joey and Chandler and Rachel are all there.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, Monica makes a little bit of sense because she's related to the baby.
Right. So the rest of the gang offers encouragement that the pair will show up. And Joey tells her to relax. She's only at 9 centimeters, and the baby is at just 0 station. And Joey is frightening Chandler.
He is really funny with his birthing knowledge.
Right. I was at one earlier today. I
know all about it.
I could be this doctor guy right here. So Carol grabs Chandler through the heart, ripping a nipple off.
But he has 3 nipples, so it's okay. Oh, wait. Spoiler. That's not until later.
Right. It's a nubbin. So Dr. Fear Factor tells Carol it's time. Exes and lesbians or without them, the baby can't wait.
Then we're back to the magical closets.
Yes.
Same 3. Nobody's joined them.
No.
Now they're trying to Bruce Willis it out through the air vent.
Yeah.
When in doubt, go through the air vent, right?
That's right.
All right. So wondering how they decided it would be Phoebe. That's what I want to know.
Well, I'm going to get to that in a second.
Okay. So anyhow, she's wearing a coverall that they found in the closet, and it has the name Ben on it. And she says Ben about 20 times.
Yeah, they definitely set it up.
Yeah.
I think the first time I saw it, I was like, I wonder what they're not going to name their baby. But at this point, I think the other 2 are just trying to get Phoebe out of the room.
Here, go through that vent.
Yeah, go for help. It's not going to work, but at least you'll be out of the closet.
Right. I like how Ross calls her Ben. Here you go, Ben. Hoist her up. Okay, Ben. What do you see? Well, Susan, it appears to be a dark vent. And then the door finally opens. Mm-hmm. And Gavin, that's the worker guy. It says that on his shirt, but he doesn't look like a Gavin.
Well, it's actually Gavin from the later seasons, but he got stuck in the haunted hospital. So he's aged
and he shrunk
80 years. Yeah.
Anyhow, Gavin comes in, and Susan and Ross rush out, and Gavin shouts, "Wait, you forgot your legs!"
You forgot your legs.
I love that part.
So now we're in Carol's room again. You remember who's in there.
Yeah, because we go really fast.
And they're all going, push, push, and they're all jumping around. And Ross and Susan rush in. The things they must have seen. Carol screams,
"Where have you been?"
Long story.
Too late.
Nice. So Rachel is encroaching on Dr. Franzblau like he's about to marry Emily Waltham.
You said his name right.
I did. And Estelle is like, this ensemble cast is too large for this situation. Ex-husbands and lesbian life partners only. And Chandler asks,
do you have to be Carol's lesbian life partner?
Out! So little Ben starts crowning and Ross has to see. I do not.
Do you think you would have?
Probably not.
Really?
I don't know. It's one of those things that I would have to decide on the day. And
well, I'm glad you didn't have to.
So he's like, there's a head, Carol. How are you doing this?
Not helping.
Then Ross gets all the way up in there. And Dr. Frankenweedy has to shoo him away. He's like, hey! And he's like, there's heads, there's shoulders, there's arms, oh, there's little fingers. The chest, the stomach, it's a boy. Legs, knees, and feet, he's a person. And he looks like my Uncle Ed covered in Jell-O.
I love how Carol goes, really?
Yeah. And then from heaven, Lady God says, you guys, he's beautiful.
Adam, that was Phoebe in the vent.
Oh. Oh.
Your faith is shattered now.
It was shattered before.
All right, so we cut back to Carol's room. No more screaming. It's just Carol, Susan, and Ross.
Yes.
And we fade in, and all 3 of them are sitting there holding the baby.
Yes.
And Susan says, no shouting, but we still need a name. And then Ross suggests Ben.
Right, because it's the only name we can think of now.
But Susan looks at him and says, I like Ben. Carol asks why they never mentioned it before, and they say that's what they were off doing, agreeing on a name.
Yeah. I like the idea that they would say, Ben, oh, I like that. Carol's like, no, that's fucking dumb. Then they're like, oh, we have to start all over. But that doesn't happen.
No. So the whole gang enters the room and Ross introduces Ben. And everyone says hi to Ben. If you listen to the scene, everyone, they go around and they all say hi. It's super cute. So,
and you said you think Phoebe would have went, oh.
Yeah, I was like, why didn't she acknowledge? She said it 900 times.
Right.
So, and Phoebe says that he looks just like Susan.
Which I think is a sweet way to include Susan.
It's super cute. But it's so funny, too, because, both of our kids are adopted. But when we would tell people, like strangers that we met, they were like, what? They look exactly like you. And we're like, yeah, no, they're not ours. I mean, they're ours, but we didn't give birth to them. They don't have our DNA. Paid for. All right. So Rachel says she cannot believe that one of us actually has one of these. And Chan says he is still one of these.
Yes. Good to know yourself.
Monica is already weeping. Yeah. And she asks to hold Ben. And Ross reminds her about his fontanelle. Oh, wait. That's Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
We had a lot of Coen Brothers references today.
I know. You know why? Because we finished Fargo.
Yes, we did. All right, so she introduces herself to Ben and says that she will always have gum. And this is the only way I think I'm like Monica. Everyone at work asks me for gum. They know I have gum. And I think it's because my first real boss, when I had a real grown-up job, he had the worst coffee breath ever.
Right.
And I love coffee. So I drink a cup of coffee and then I chew a stick of gum. Yeah. All right, I'm getting off track. Anyway, they pan out, and I love the look on Chandler's face at Monica. And I can't tell if it's Matthew Perry or if it's Chandler.
Oh.
I need a minute.
And she made herself cry.
So I'm going to do the tag because Adam thought it was weird.
I do think it's a little strange.
Yeah. So,
I mean, like I said, the whole episode, they do a good job avoiding the sappy sentimentality. And then this scene is just... a whole bunch of sap.
So in the notes, Adam wrote, Ross's big old head. But the scene is Ross is explaining how he may or may not see Ben all the time.
Right.
And it's from the point of view of the baby.
Right.
And then Chandler comes in teaching the baby how to steal third.
Which is pretty funny.
It is. And then all the gang joins in. And Ben doesn't answer to his name. And he closes his eyes, then he opens his eyes, and he doesn't really do too much.
Because he's a baby.
They decide to walk away. And like Joey with the Celtics fan, they come back, and they continue to make faces, smile at the baby until he closes his eyes again.
And it's cute. I just think it's weird because it goes on so long.
Yeah, it is a long scene. But the shot of them all looking down on the baby is pretty cute.
Yeah, so. I get what they're trying to do. I just think it goes on a little long and makes it a little weird. But it's very cute. It's cute, and it's okay to have a little bit of sentiment in there.
And that's the end of the episode.
And that's the end. Cut and print.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take another short break. We'll be right back.
Come on, Lydia, you can do it. Push him out. Push him out. Harder, harder. Push him out. Push him out. Way out. Let's get that ball and really move. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Push him out, push him out, harder, harder, push him out, way out. Let's get that ball and really move. Hey, 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 ho. I was just, okay. Push.
All right, we're back for the wrap up. So, what did we learn from this episode? You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I can go first.
All right.
We learned that exes and life partners can get along.
Aw.
Estelle wasn't cut out to be a nurse.
No.
Ben was named after a janitor. And that hospital is crazy haunted. What did you learn?
I learned that this episode has a lot of premonitions because Monica laments about having twins and later has twins. Mm-hmm. I learned that Joey, although he's a playboy, he really, really has a good heart. Mm-hmm. And maybe now Rachel will give up on her obsession with doctors. And they were at the hospital so long that all the guys have 5 o'clock shadow.
They do have 5 o'clock shadow, which I thought was very cute. Yes. That they all had 5 o'clock.
It was funny. All right, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts, well, they love jerking Monica around. let's make her really want babies more than any other character. But no. Writers have to be mean. Mean.
I know, it's so terrible that she's so obsessed with babies, and at the end she can't have a baby.
Right.
I
mean, adoption is fine. We
adopted. Absolutely.
We're for adoption.
Absolutely.
But I just think that they're being demonic.
Yeah, that is. My final thoughts. I think Joey and Lydia should have had a longer storyline. Maybe they could have gotten together at the end of the series.
Well, you can write your own fan fiction if you want. Lydia gets out of this Church of Scientology, goes into Joey Tribbiani's arms. Happily ever after.
You had to throw Scientology in there.
Well, I mean, come on. Xenu demands it.
What was our sweater vest tracker this week?
0. Stupid hoodie during the whole episode.
Yeah.
Chandler didn't go home to change and impress anybody. So we're still at 21 and holding.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
All right, next week's episode.
The one where Rachel finds out.
Yes. And we have the awesome guest star, Lauren Tom, stars as Julie.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to read the thing? Or?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Ross goes to China. Chandler spills the beans about Ross. And Rachel runs to the airport to greet him. And the cliffhanger of Ross kissing Julie. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Are you ready for some maladjusted content? I remembered this time.
You did. I'm just going to do it on your voice this time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So what happened this week?
So this week we mainly watched Fargo.
Yeah, we finished that.
We watched the new season of Fargo from start to finish.
Tell them how anxious I was at the end.
You were very anxious. Very anxious. It was making me very nervous.
I was holding his hand and squeezing it, and he got up to do something. I was like, where are you going? You can't leave. It was very good, though.
Very good season.
Yeah, it was. John Hamm played the biggest dick I've ever seen in my entire life.
And you love him.
I do love him. So the only thing I said to Adam that redeems John Hamm is that I know he's not like this character at all.
Right. Well,
so that's why he could be so dickish.
Right. You know, we obviously don't want to give anything away.
Right.
But if you haven't seen the new season of Fargo, it's very feminist versus toxic masculinity.
Yes.
In a very 2016 kind of way.
Yeah. It's really good, though.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of character arcs in it, and
right.
It's really good. So I'm not saying that, non-anxious people shouldn't watch it, but just have somebody's hand to hold.
Yeah. And John Hamm is great, because like I told you, he's one of those people that he's playing that character because the people that are like that need to be a little more exposed for what they are.
Oh, for sure. Like, he is the extreme of this character.
Right.
Like, there are probably people that that have some characteristics, but he's the extreme.
Yes. Yes. He's very good. Juno Temple's wonderful.
Oh, yeah. She's amazing. I love her husband. I don't know who he is. Like, the guy that plays her husband is so funny and cute. He's played by Jason Rysdahl.
Yeah.
But he was amazing. He's so funny and just really stole the scenes that he was in.
Yeah. Yeah, he was good. And Jennifer Jason Leigh was awesome.
Yes, she was.
Everybody was really good. Yeah. Like I said, Joe Keery was in it. Steve from Stranger Things. Completely different role than he's used to playing.
Yeah. And also Lamorne Morris, he was the guy in New Girl, and also in Game Night, which was really funny.
Yeah.
And then the female cop was played by Risha Moriani, and she was really good too.
Oh, she was great.
But they all had really good arcs, and it was a good story. So one more thing before we wrap today. We got a message from one of our Maladjusted Misfits.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had a message from Rochelle W. She says, I'm a little late to the party. I just started listening to your podcast about a week ago, but I'm having a blast, and you are my people. So welcome, Rochelle. We're happy to be your people.
Yes. You're our people, too.
That's right. So thanks again for listening. And if you would like your thoughts or reactions regarding future episodes to be shared with the rest of the class, or you just want to reach out and say, hey, like Rochelle.
Right. We need to hear from more of you Misfits out there.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to watch the episode ahead of time and give us some feedback on what you think. We will include it.
Yeah, for sure. So email us at themaladjustedmisfits@gmail.com. Rate us and leave positive comments.
And if you have a negative comment, try and leave it in a positive way.
Yeah, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Joe, you ready for a cup of coffee?
Always. Celtics? Ha! They couldn't hit a boat if... Wait, they suck, all right?